right? I know I get it, but you have to allow yourself to stop playing it so safe. You are a great man. You are a great woman. You are. And you need to know that. I'm talking about every time that you feel that challenge, right? Every time that you feel yourself wanting to shut down, I need you to figure out a way to get back on track. Okay, y'all like that intro? Y'all like that intro? Look, we're back with another episode and another thing with Devon Clark, brought to you by Inspiration Above. That's right. Before we get into our episode today, let's take some time for ourselves, right? Let's get 10 seconds. You ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. As always, we like to take some time out for ourselves. I know a few of us that's like entrepreneurs, right? Work, life, all that fun stuff. Even parents, right? That's a job within itself too. I think sometimes we don't take enough time in the day for ourselves to just kind of wind down, decompress, let ourselves feel. Now that was only 10 seconds, but definitely make sure you guys are taking some time, even if it's like 25 minutes, 30 minutes out of the day when you come home. Put your phone on do not disturb. Go into a room where you can just really wind down, let your thoughts process. All that fun stuff. But what's going on? How y'all feeling? I'm feeling absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Again, this is the Growth Podcast, right? This is the podcast that you send to your cousin, your brother, your auntie, your sister, your nephew, your friend, maybe somebody who just got out of prison, who's looking for that daily inspiration, or somebody who's going to college and, they've been telling you, I'm struggling with this class and I don't know if college is for me anymore. And you just want them to have some type of outlet. And another thing with me, Devon Clark, is a place where you go, where you can get that inspiration, that daily inspiration, right? But I'm feeling good. Truly, guys, I'm truly feeling good. I think one of the biggest things that I've been doing in my life currently is allowing pride and ego to no longer be a part of me. And that is a daily, daily challenge, right? As a man, right? As a friend, as a competitor, as an entrepreneur, as someone who wants more out of life, right? Sometimes we may allow ego and pride to dwell within us without us even knowing. But it's truly a great feeling when we can say like, okay, this is something I'm working towards on a daily. This is not something I'm great at. This is not something that I've been taught since a kid or whatever the case may be. But this is something that I'm working on a daily, and I can see myself getting better. So I want you guys to ask yourself as well too. In this particular episode, you can do it during, after, whatever the case may be. Write it down. What is something that you guys are working on right now that has been a challenge? I want you guys to come up with a game plan on what you think you need to do to overcome that challenge. Maybe it might be talking to a friend, right? Maybe it might even be, I don't know, going on a walk, just getting in tune with nature. I went on a walk yesterday and it was so amazing. Just looking at the trees flow, looking at the, barely having connection in that, forest preserve that I was walking in, and just hearing the birds and hearing the leaves rustle and all that. Like that was like true peace for me. And that's one of the ways that I allow myself to decompress. So you guys figure that out as well too. And you guys figure out what's one thing that you guys do want to work on. And it can be this week, this season, today, right? This year. The rest of this year, like what's one thing that you guys want to work on? Right. Okay. Guys, let's get into this podcast. This is a really, really, really good one, right? This is a really, really good one. I think this is one that we all can kind of take some bits and pieces from and really be able to build upon our growth, our development, and our character from it, right? And let's get into it, right? So, and another thing. Where has playing it safe gotten you? That's right. Where has playing it safe gotten you? And I think I can jump right into me right off the bat. I know I do this whole thing when I say, okay, and as always, I'm talking about myself, right? And I do it like later in the episodes, but I'm gonna do it now, and I might do it later as well. And another thing, where has playing it safe gotten you? And as always, I'm talking to myself as well too. Historically, guys, I think for a few of us, we get so accustomed to defeat. I think we get so accustomed to let down. We get so accustomed to being in a certain kind of cycle where we play it safe, right? We play it safe. And I got the TikTok video as well too to kind of match it if you guys want to see a quicker version, right? But the gist of it was, you you trying to make it to first base, but God is meant have a home run for you. Again, you're trying to get to first base and play it safe, but what if God had a home run for you and you're turning away your blessings? You're turning down opportunities. You're turning down great situations and scenarios to meet great people, great connections, your future friends, your family, your future, all this, great work relationships. But because you have been so accustomed to failure, but because you have been so accustomed to the no, because you have been so accustomed to just things being the way it is, and even look at the way that you talk on a daily. Listen to how you speak about your life on a daily basis. Listen, right? And I had to, right, as always, I'm talking to myself as well, too. There were some things where I just kind of, threw in the towel because that's just what I've always done. And today's episode is definitely going to be a story time, right? But again, I'm going to be honest, y'all. When it came to my real estate license, I think around that time when I passed that exam 4 years ago, I was so accustomed to the previous months or the previous, years or whatever. I was so accustomed to, again, we talk about it all the time, climbing that mountain, getting to the edge, and it actually not working out. And you know what? Before I even get to the story time, I seen this movie F1 yesterday, right? And the ending of the movie, this is, if you don't want to know what happens in F1, please fast forward, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. But if you don't mind listening, me sharing this one piece, right? I seen F1 yesterday. And at the end of the movie, and again, guys, this is a very pivotal part of the movie. So for real, if you don't want to know what happened in F1, please fast forward like a minute down. But I seen F1 yesterday and, God going through a lot of trials and tribulations, whatnot, right? And at the end, it was just him like in first place. And, my subconscious, I was waiting for the big failure moment, right? I was waiting for that big moment. He was in first place, right? Like for whatever reason, the other two cars, they spun out, they blow out, whatever. Okay, cool. Now he's in first place. Okay, cool. So now he gets in first place. Now me, just the way I was wired, just the way that I always allowed myself to think, just the way that I've always allowed myself to believe, I was waiting for the big mess up. I was waiting for the big, moment where this person would have failed. I was waiting for the oil to spill. I was waiting for something negative to happen. I was waiting, and it never happened. And that moment for me was just like, okay, why? Like, why? Like, why did he, like, what was it? And I think that he's just been working so long for that thing that when he became in first place, he was just flying. And again, it brought me back to like my real estate license, right? Where I was kind of playing it safe, where it was like, I would have been okay if I failed that real estate exam 4 times. That's just the way that I was wired. That's just how I was. And it might be a few of us out there as well too that's wired the same exact way right now. You're okay with not going back to school, and that's something that you want to do. You're okay with just falling short, right? You're okay with just playing it safe. And you really got to start to ask yourself, when you're growing through these things, again, we never just go through things, we grow through things, right? This is the growth podcast. When you're growing through something, you got to really kind of ask yourself like, okay, why, you start to ask yourself, why me, right? Why me? Why am I always the person who gets let down? Why am I the person who always comes up short? Like, right? And we're trying to figure out how to grow from this. And it's truly, honestly, because you might have just been playing it safe for so long when you may have never been the person to play it safe, but you've been playing it safe all this time. You know, since a very young age, you've always had this special feeling about singing, about producing, about filmmaking, about entertainment, about sports medicine, about finances, about inspiration and speaking. You've had this feeling for so long, and you know that okay when you get to the plate, but you've been so accustomed to things not going the way that you wanted them to go. You've been so accustomed to you getting in that mode where you shut down, and you've constantly shut down. You guys ever spoke to someone, and it's typically like, like people who might be older than you or elders or whatever the case may be. And it's not to throw jabs or anything. It's just me stating facts. I've noticed that so many elders and so many of, people who have done it before me, they give really great advice. They give really great advice. I think you need to go to school. I think you need to add it up like this, subtract it like that. And then you kind of look at them and you think to yourself like, well, dang, well, why didn't you go out there and do it, right? And again, it might just be from playing it safe. How many situations and scenarios have you seen of people finally getting back to it, years down the line? Yes, that might have been a part of their journey, but what if that thing that they really, really wanted was on the other side of their next failure, right? So when you failed, okay, cool. You failed 5 times now, right? Now your next failure, your win that you've been looking for is at number 6 now, right? But because you just played it safe, but because you just got accustomed to the no, because you got accustomed to the, it is what it is kind of mentality, right? And you started to align your way of thinking with the same way. Now you just so triggered and so traumatized from everything that you grow through. You think every scenario, every situation is you feeling attacked, and you're allowing it because you've been playing it safe. No, listen here, bro. That was a part of your growth, sis. I know you didn't have that person to break it down to you the way that you would have wanted that person to break it down to you, whether if it was a father, a mother, a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. I know, right? I get it. But you have to allow yourself to stop playing it so safe. You are a great man. You are a great woman. You are. And you need to know that. I'm talking about every time that you feel that challenge, right? Every time that you feel yourself wanting to shut down, I need you to figure out a way to get back on track. I need you to figure out a way to say, you know what, I am. I need you to figure out a way to say, you know what, even though I'm frustrated right now, even though I might have, it was me, right? It was me that put myself in this situation to not be as social as I could be. You know what, it was me to put myself in this situation financially or mentally, right? Like there are a lot of things out there that we can hold more accountability on ourselves from, right? But when you do finally realize that, okay, it was me, right? And you do finally realize you have been playing it safe all these years, you it's going to be a point in time where you finally ask yourself, you know what is it that I want? What is it that I want out of life? What is it that I want out of this relationship? What is it that I want out of this friendship? What is it that I want? And when that passion starts to burn in you, you need to do everything in your power and your will under God's green earth to get there and to do it. Stop playing it so safe. Stop playing it. That's why you've been playing it safe when it comes to your business. You knew you wanted to start this business. I knew I wanted to start this podcast in 2020 or in 2021, one of the two. I can't remember the exact time frame. I know it was either I was waiting at the airport and I was creating ideas, and it took me 4 or 5 years to put it. Why am I playing it so safe? Oh, I don't have the right to quit. Oh, I don't. You're making a lot of excuses as to why you don't want to put in the work, Devon. And the same goes for you out there listening. You're making a lot of excuses as to why you don't. Oh, relationships are just, I know relationships are how they are, but then what? Then what? You're still a human being. You still deserve love. You still want to be loved. You still want to give love. You're a lover girl. Remember you said that? You say it. You repost it all the time on your Instagram. You say you a lover girl in a generation full of people who's not, loving. Okay, but then what? You gotta, at some point, you gotta be able to understand and learn and grow from your past. But once you understand and once you comprehend and once you have that figured out, now it's time to strategize on how you can go ahead and stop playing it safe, because you do deserve that. You do deserve that promotion. You do deserve that great friendship. It's a few of us out there that feel like, you know what, and you keep sweeping like it under the rug where you was a bad friend. No, you wasn't necessarily a bad friend all the way. Now there are some situations where it's like, okay, that wasn't too friend like. You know what I mean? Right? And you got to hold yourself accountable. But I'm talking about those times where you had all these anxieties going on, where you didn't know what was